then you need to take a look at this. The Suzuki Jimny 5-door edition, a practical car that's built larger than life. And yes, it doesn't take more than an hour to wash this car.
This is the Suzuki Jimny 5-door edition, and this one has an SRP of around 1,708,000 Philippine pesos. The Jimny is no stranger to the Philippine market. For years, everyone has been a fan of the 3-door version. The following has been so big for the Jimny that it's had waiting lists, especially when a new generation gets released to the market. It's a well-built SUV that is sized in a way that doesn't make city driving difficult, but it's engineered in a way that it's ready to handle the great outdoors. Back in 2024, Suzuki Philippines launched the 5-door edition, which has created market reaction. As much as it's been liked by many, purists have had questions about it, especially with regards to performance in relation to the overall size and practicality of this ride. So, what exactly is going on with the 5-door? Come on, let's take a look.
At this angle here, you can see an additional 340 millimeters when it comes to the Jimny 5-door. And those 340 millimeters are noticeable, especially when it comes to your wheelbase. Goes a long way, especially for the passengers in the back. Now, with the 5-door edition, you still get 15-inch alloy wheels here to go with a two-tone look for this particular variant. This is the red and the black look. But if you want a different look to your Jimny, remember that it's also available in 5 other color options, including a look that's black and cream, so that could be your thing. Now, for braking, you also have ventilated disc brakes at the front with drum brakes at the rear. And one more thing I like about the Jimny is this little detail here for the 5-door. This goes a very long way, especially when it comes to visibility in bumper-to-bumper traffic. And this is what the back looks like for the Jimny 5-door. It does look very similar to the 3-door edition of the Jimny. I'm a huge fan of the spare tire being positioned here in the back. And you know what? There are many reasons why this makes so much sense. Now, first of all, I like the idea that it's also covered, so it's added protection for your full-size spare tire. But here in the back though, with this being positioned the way it is, it's easy access if in case you need to replace your tire easily. And the other is that if in case you get rear-ended on the highways, you have an added layer of protection for the passengers in the back. Now, if you're worried about your spare tire affecting your overall visibility, the upside of the Jimny is that it's always had a camera down below for your added convenience. Now, similar to the 3-door, you still have the same bumpers here and taillights, and the way to open your door is exactly like this.
Compared to the 3-door variant, remember that this is a bigger Jimny. When talking about dimensions, the Jimny 5-door is 1,645 millimeters wide and 1,720 millimeters tall. And in terms of length, we're looking at 3,820 millimeters when it comes to this 5-door variant.
The front of the Jimny 5-door is a continuation of the overall design language of the Jimny, especially from the 2019 model onwards. Now, compared to the 3-door model, you still get the same headlights here with the round look and LEDs, and as well as the turn signals up on top. Now, you have a bit of a more modern look here with your front grille as seen with your chrome accents and the gray look that you have right here. All of that is complemented by your bumper down below, which is very functional, and it also complements your very generous approach, breakover, and departure angle at stock. Now, what I like about the bumper is that you have this little detail here, a washer for your headlights. Those go a very long way, especially if you have to travel to places like this, the farm. Especially if you have to drive through roads like this on a rainy day and a lot of mud is accumulated right here at the front, because that might affect your visibility. Now, you don't have to go down and wash your headlights anymore because push a button inside and water sprays exactly right here. Now, the way it is right now, the Jimny looks very much livable, so much that you can enjoy on the daily at stock. But if you want to customize your Jimny, hey, remember that this is a Suzuki and it's a Jimny, so there's so much potential that you can build on.
Under the hood, it's the same K15B engine here with the 4 cylinders, which gives you 102 PS of power and 130 Nm of torque, all going with either a 4-speed automatic or a 5-speed manual. Today we have the automatic. So, what's it like? Come on, it's time to buckle up and go for a drive.
Okay, so we have the Jimny 5-door out on the roads today, and you know what? There is something I just noticed about Suzuki cars, the Suzuki brand rather, that I have to point out, and it's this. I think they've mastered the art of making small cars that actually don't make you feel like you're driving a small car. Now, hear me out. I've driven the Jimny 3-door and as well as the Suzuki Espresso, and right now I am driving the Jimny 5-door. And I've noticed that when driving around with this car, you don't feel as small until you look over your shoulder or you try to park and you realize that this car is very easy to maneuver. You have the maneuverability of a sedan, but if you're stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic and a Fortuner pulls up beside you, you don't feel like a midget beside him. And that's for the simple fact that you sit tall whenever you drive a Suzuki, and that's a good thing when it comes to a car like this. It gives you such a commanding presence on the road that gives you so much confidence wherever you go with any of the Suzuki cars. And because of the overall size, the drivability and the maneuverability makes it a very fun experience. Now, the Jimny 5-door is longer than your traditional Jimny, but it doesn't feel bulky with its overall size and its weight difference versus the 3-door variant. The engine and transmission is not stressed, and you still have features like a backup camera for your convenience. Now, your transfer case also works the same way as a 3-door Jimny, and it's consistent across the line no matter what you get from the Jimny. Now, if you live far away from the city and if you're driving around a lot on roads like this and you want a different kind of engagement, remember that the Jimny 5-door and the Jimny 3-door is all available as well in a 5-speed manual transmission. Now, this is where value comes in for the Jimny 5-door edition. You have more cargo space here in the back as opposed to the 3-door edition, while being able to have space for passengers in the second row. Now, with the back of the Jimny, as you can see, I could be able to put in what? 2 bags there, and as well as a box and a cooler, and still have space for other items. The upside with this car though is that you could be able to put in all of this cargo while having passengers in the back. But if you don't need all of that space for your passengers, or if there's only going to be 2 of you riding this car and you need more space for cargo, you could easily fold the seats in the back in a 50-50 configuration, allowing more space for the Jimny 5-door. And this is what it looks like in the back of the Jimny 5-door. And as you can see, this is the kind of space I have here in the back. I'm 6 feet tall, this is the knee room, and this is the headroom, and that's my preferred driving position. Now, if you want a Suzuki that could be able to sit more passengers in the back comfortably or more space in the back, I would recommend the XL7 or the Ertiga, both of which have hybrid options. But with a Jimny 5-door though, this is the kind of car that you could be able to go overlanding or off-roading with without any worries or concerns. Now, this is the kind of car that is built to sit 4 people comfortably. If you're to have a passenger sitting here, it could be done, but it's not safe or ideal for the simple fact that there's no provision for a seatbelt here in the middle. If you travel with kids, there's also provisions for ISOFIX tethers, which are very easily accessible, and again, there's a lot of very easy to clean material all throughout the Jimny 5-door. Now, when it comes to cup holders, they're all right in the middle, and you always have speakers on your doors if you're a fan of music. Now, speaking of your doors though, one thing I find quirky about the Jimny 5-door here in the back is that the doors, of course, they open pretty wide, so getting in and out isn't a problem. But the other thing is that your power windows. There is a switch right here, similar to any door, but it doesn't stop there. If, let's say, your switch here isn't working, there's another switch right here on your center console for you to be able to easily open and close your windows.
And this is what the front of the Jimny looks like. The seats allow you a commanding presence on the road, and the dashboard sits just right, allowing good visibility with a car like this. In terms of your driver's display, you have analog gauges with digital information in the middle, and a large center screen with wireless connectivity. Similar to the 3-door variant, the buttons for your front power windows, traction control, and hill descent control is right in the middle.
And this is what it looks like here in the front of your Jimny 5-door. Now, if you've ever sat inside any Jimny from the 2019 model onwards, it is a very similar look here inside. And I've always been a huge fan of the analog gauges that you have with this car, but I have noticed that there is a new interface when it comes to the digital display here on your driver's display rather. It doesn't have that amber look anymore, and it's a new interface which is also complementary to your center screen. You have a larger center screen here now, still with wireless connectivity, and you also have a new software as well, which is a lot more legible and a lot more easier to learn. Now, there are things from the previous Jimny that I can't find right here, like an inclinometer or other technical off-road aspects when it comes to the car, but you know what, it just makes a lot of sense, especially if you're going to be driving this car for the daily. But if you want to add those parts to this car, there's a very wide aftermarket scene for the Suzuki Jimny. Okay, so today we're out here where the Suzuki Jimny wants to be. This is the playground of off-roaders like this. And the last time we had a Jimny, it was raining. Today, it's summer and we have the 5-door with us, so this is a good chance for us to test this car at 4 high. So, put it in 4H. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, now 4 high and 4 low and 2 high are 3 modes that you have when going off-road. Now, you know, with 4 high, you could actually be able to shift it on the fly at high speeds, but with 4 low, remember to put it at neutral and switch to 4 low if you do such. Now, where do those 3 modes make sense? Well, 2 high is your regular driving. 4 high is for some high-speed off-roading, just like now. Right now, I'm going about 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Now, that makes sense, especially in loose surface like this, or if you're going to be going rallying. But if, let's say, the roads get muddy, putting it in 4 low makes a lot more sense because it turns off traction control and it allows you to crawl through tricky surfaces. Now, when we're talking about the Jimny 5-door versus the 3-door, yes, it's a heavier car, but the power-to-weight ratio is just right for a car like this. It's not having a difficult time despite it being heavier than a 3-door. And, you know, that's how well built these engines are. And in terms of ride quality, you still have solid axles here and a ladder frame chassis. And so, you know, in terms of dependability, this is still a more than capable car to be able to handle this sort of terrain. And, you know, I'm only handling this at stock and it's already a fun experience. So what more if I customize?
Now, some folks will take their Jimnys off-road, and some, quite honestly, just won't. But either way, it's nice to know that you have a car capable of doing things like this with the right discipline. Complementing all of that are features like hill hold control and hill descent control, which helps take care of the Jimny when going uphill or downhill. You're also equipped with traction control and ABS with ESP, along with front and side airbags for your peace of mind.
Again, to emphasize, you don't need to be off-road to enjoy the capabilities of your Suzuki Jimny. It's a perfect city car. But let's say you're stuck in bad weather or your Google Maps, your Waze leads you to unfamiliar territory. It is nice to know that this SUV knows exactly what to do when push comes to shove.
In terms of comfort for the Jimny, you get 3-link rigid axles with coil springs for both the front and the back when it comes to this ride, allowing you a car that is ready for action but yet as comfy as possible for the passengers in the back. When it comes to brakes, you have ventilated disc brakes at the front with drum brakes at the rear at this current configuration. Now, if you want to customize, remember that because this is a Jimny and because it's a Suzuki, you have so many options available just for you.
You know, there is something fascinating about internal combustion engines. They are still more than capable in today's driving conditions. They're more than capable for any drive. And with good driving habits and nice roads, you can still get double-digit fuel economy figures when it comes to the Suzuki Jimny. But you see, that's not exactly what the Jimny is all about. You get one of these for the enjoyment of a car being capable for any adventure. It's not about top speeds or acceleration when it comes to the Jimny 5-door. It's about enjoying the engagement of what a modern classic can give you. And the Suzuki Jimny 5-door is comfy in today's standards, but it has enough in it that reminds you of how fun driving was back in the day. Now with the Jimny, every detail is felt with how the gears shift or how you accelerate or how you decelerate, how everything just sounds like, how you let off the throttle or how you step on the brakes. This is a nice analog and mechanical sound that the Jimny offers that you just can't find a lot in cars of today, and that's why I call it a modern classic. And driving all of those new cars, getting behind something like this, as somebody who's always enjoyed cars, this is a feeling that I've kind of missed. I've said this before, and I'll say it again, but I've always liked the Jimny. It just makes sense, especially with our traffic and how small some of our streets are. Now, unfortunately though, my personal take is that the three-door, it's a nice car, but it's something difficult to keep, especially when your lifestyle changes over time. Yes, it makes sense to me. As a young bachelor right now with no wife and kids, I would drive it every day. And even as a college student, that's what I liked about it. My particular college where I went to school, parking was always difficult with how small the streets were in Manila. Now, the thing is though, I'm not in college anymore. And the idea of being a bachelor could change over time. And you know what? That's where the 5-door makes sense. The Jimny 5-door is built in a way that it can grow with you and your family. You can have this now and keep it forever. Still make it your overlanding machine while being able to do grocery runs and school runs all at once. And you know what? If you choose to customize, hey, it's a Jimny. So you got all the options you ever want. I've always been a fan of the Jimny. I mean, it's a car that's built for the practical guy. And you can take it anywhere, especially with the overall size that it's had. But what if, let's say, you are the practical guy, but you need just a little bit more space? Then you need to take a look at this. The Suzuki Jimny 5-door edition, a practical car that's built larger than life.